Well, good evening. I am Stephanie Heskey, Interim Superintendent of Sevier County Schools, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Sevier County Teacher of the Year and Educator Hall of Fame inductee banquet. Please continue to eat and enjoy this wonderful meal. We are especially grateful to be back in person and have recipients from not only this school year, but also the 2020 and 2021 recipients. I feel so honored to be in the presence of this group of people and want to make sure that you know that you are the reason excellent opportunities occur for our students. Your knowledge and expertise, your example, your personal interactions with students make all the difference. So I will encourage you to keep going, because I am only one of many in this room for whom the Sevier County school system made a difference. As you know, teaching and serving in education is not for the faint of heart, and it is only fitting that we celebrate the very best of our school system here tonight. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our 5 school board members. John McClure, who is under the weather tonight and sends his regrets that he could not be here. Mike Oakley, Mark Strange, Charles Temple, and Kevin Townsend for all their efforts. If those gentlemen would please stand for just a second so we could recognize you. I would also like to acknowledge members of our central office administration, including Dr. Jack Parton, for their support, and particularly Dr. Lori Hill for her work on the Teacher of the Year banquet. If our central office staff could also please stand at this time. And then finally, we have many school administrators, principals, and our vice principals that are here who work daily with these educators. I'd like to thank them for their work as well. If those folks could please stand, and we can acknowledge you as well. And before we continue on with the program, I would like to thank our sponsor, Collier Hospitality Group, for this beautifully decorated venue, wonderful meal, invitations, awards, and many other countless details they coordinated to plan this event. They worked in collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club to create the wonderful placemats that you're dining on this evening. They worked with the Sevier County Food Ministry to organize pickup of the apples and the centerpieces to benefit our community, and also the Sevierville Convention Center as our hosting location. At this time, please welcome Nick Miller, Director of Accounting and Development for Collier Hospitality, who tirelessly and generously worked with our system in planning this event. Mr. Miller.
Thank you so much. Well, good evening, everyone. As she said, my name is Nick Miller, and I would love to take this opportunity to welcome you all this evening. We're so honored to be able to recognize the educators in our community that are what makes our community so special. As she said, a huge thank you from our organization to the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Smoky Mountain and their art program. We had 200 youth help create our placemats tonight, so we have got some inspiring words from them that hopefully encourage you as you go back into the classroom tomorrow. And then we also want to thank the Sevierville Food Ministry for their help in putting together their needs so that we can provide a nutrition program that will work for them during this week's distribution. So a huge shout out to them for all of their work. I've personally benefited from the Sevier County school system. I went to Pigeon Forge schools my whole career. I have some former teachers here. I've had the privilege of having several teachers that have been previously recognized as a Teacher of the Year, so I know how important this night is. It really makes a difference to the students, and they can tell when they're in the classroom of a teacher that is really driven and motivated to do their best and are the cream of the crop. Some teachers go above and beyond and truly exhibit the joy of teaching. To teach with such passion that you can make a high schooler love pre-calculus, which is something that Tanya Morgan did for me. There's so many moments in my life that were impacted by educators. Beverly Loveday can tell you countless awful stories about me. But there's so much that teachers do and that you remember as you grow up, so we're especially thankful for everything that you all do. Teachers have that unique ability to impact a child's life and change their trajectory as they work on discovering their passions. Whether it be problem solving, creative writing, the arts, sports, you all influence students' lives in so many different ways, and you can change their outcomes just by being a positive influence. And I think that's something that makes our community different. Selfishly, students today are also our employees tomorrow, so we count on you to provide us with an educated workforce that's ready for modern jobs, and that's something that we think you do a great job. When we get a high school graduate, they're very proficient in several areas that allows us to get them to speed with their job very quickly. So we're very thankful for what you do in making our economy possible here. So with all of that, I just once again want to give you a heartfelt thank you from myself and our more than 1,200 employees in this community. You provide a safe place for their kids to go to school while our employees go to work, and they know they're receiving a quality education and they're surrounded by people that care about them and will take care of them while they're in your care. So thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.
Good evening. My name is Stacia Lewis, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, and I echo the sentiments of Director Husky in welcoming you to dinner. So please, again, continue to enjoy your meal and your dessert as we move forward with the programming. It is my distinct pleasure this evening to recognize the 2020, 2021, and 2022 Teachers of the Year, also the 2022 Principal of the Year and Supervisor of the Year, as well as 5 additional inductees into the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame. This evening is always a very special evening because it gives us the opportunity to celebrate and recognize those of you who exemplify the best in education. You wouldn't be here otherwise. This year is especially more special because we haven't been here since 2019 as a large group, so it's great to be in person. But having been recognized by your peers in an era where most of us would agree or have been the most difficult 2 years of your professional career is saying a lot. When I think about what the school system has accomplished in those last 2 years, it's really nothing short of a miracle. I hope you've taken some time to realize the impact that each of you have had on children as we have worked as a school system and a community to move through the pandemic. When I think about what all you've been, I think of several things. I think of you as being power to the powerless. You know, knowledge is power. I think of you as being an anchor of hope for children who have often been hopeless in situations. I think of you as navigators who have navigated many new processes and protocols that we never dreamed would be appropriate nor required in public education. I think of you as dream builders because you've kept the dreams alive for children whose dreams deserve to stay alive even though the world is being turned upside down. I see you as an everlasting source of encouragement for students who need courage to go on from day to day. I've also seen you as masters of every modality of instruction known to man. And I'll not mention those, but maybe I will. Remote learning, virtual learning, hybrid learning. all combined with in-person learning and students from afar behind a screen. I see you as innovators by trade in the development of students' 21st century skills, and most importantly, you have become the core or the very heart of what it means to be an educator by caring for and nurturing those children who are under your care. So thank you for your efforts. The Sevier County school system and community is indebted to you for your commitment. At this time, we are going to join in the viewing of video to celebrate our 2020 Teachers of the Year.
Has been more than just a rewarding experience. It has been the ultimate fulfilling experience. She has been the greatest mentor to me that I could have ever asked for, and she's helped to instill such a passion for teaching ESL that I never knew I would have. Her students give her so much respect, and they just adore learning from her every day. She has the ability to stay so calm and kind through every situation, and they learn so much every single year. I feel like I have the greatest job in the world, and I owe a lot of that to Miss Deborah. So she's more than just my mentor, she is a great friend.
We would like to congratulate Mr. Chad Loveday for being our Middle School Teacher of the Year from Jones Cove Elementary School. Mr. Loveday has been here for 19 years. He's taught 20 years. What I love most about Mr. Loveday is how he inspires all students to learn, but he also inspires his colleagues to try new things and to learn new things. He earns respect and admiration. He's a role model to his students. He does not really stick to the textbook or anything. He finds a way to reach each student needs. He provides parents with resources, and he's always glad to help parents with anything they're doing. He's actually even helped parents with their college classes in math before, so that has been awesome. He provides a lot of resources, not only to his students, but to his parents, and we are just very blessed to have Mr. Loveday at Jones Cove Elementary School.
Miss Jerry Mones, math teacher. She is an excellent teacher. and has been at Seymour High School for the past 20 plus years. It's very obvious when you visit her classroom that she has a heart for the students and cares very deeply about their math, but it goes beyond just their learning math. She cares about their well-being and their personal life, and she is very helpful to them in many different ways. When you look at her test scores as they come back, she has been a level 5 teacher for many years now and does an excellent job in that regard. And that was one reason I know that her peers selected her to be Teacher of the Year for 2019-2020. It's not the first time she's been selected as Teacher of the Year, but it was a great reward for her to be selected as County Secondary Teacher of the Year for 2019-2020. We are very fortunate to have Ms. Jerry Mullins to be at Seymour High School.
If you are a 2020 recipient of Teacher of the Year, would you please stand so that we can honor you? Congratulations to each of you. I'll get you to direct your attention to the screen, and we're going to recognize those teachers who are recipient of Teacher of the Year for 2021.
Probably the best parts of my job as principal of Pigeon Forge High School is I get the opportunity and privilege to observe some terrific, just some of the best teachers in our school system and probably in our state. And I would count Mr. Dustin Helton as one of those teachers. He is a highly intelligent, hardworking, student-centered educator. He has been recognized this year not only as our building level teacher of the year, but also as the teacher of the year for secondary schools for Sevier County High School. And Dusty, what I would say about that is it is a well-deserved honor. Congratulations. I'm so thankful that you are a teacher here at Pigeon Forge High School and for the impact that you make each and every day on our students and our overall school community. Congratulations again, and go Tigers.
Hello, it's my pleasure to congratulate Miriam Alvarez on Sevier County's Teacher of the Year. There are so many superlatives that can be said about Miriam Alvarez, but I'd like to focus on her treasure, and her treasure is humanity. Miriam puts others before self. She's phenomenal in the classroom, but outside of the classroom, she is the first one to volunteer, the first one to arrive, and basically the last one to leave. She is phenomenal with her students. And I personally appreciate how she bridges the gap for our non-speaking English parents. She bridges the communication gap so we can be as a one unit Pi Beta Phi family. She brings anything to my attention or Dr. Jackson's attention. And she just always goes above and beyond. And it is just a joy to have her. She's a very pleasurable person. She's very optimistic. I'm very grateful that Miriam took the time to teach me a little bit in Poco Spanish so I can say Buenos dias la directora Woods of Pi Beta Phi, so I can welcome our families because I'm not a Spanish-speaking soothsayer here. But I just want to congratulate her again. So congratulations again, Miriam, on being Sevier County's Teacher of the Year. Love you.
I'm so excited to have Kelly McCarter on the staff at Seymour Intermediate. We are so proud of her for being chosen as one of the district level teachers for the Teacher of the Year competition. Kelly is just a very worthy person. Not only is she an excellent teacher, she is an exemplary human being. Kelly is poised and positive every day. She encourages positivity among her peers with her daily example. Kelly is always smiling, always happy, always willing to help everyone, teachers, staff, and students. She's always willing to step in when there is a need in the school. She will volunteer for whatever is needed. And the good thing about Kelly is that she always does this with a happy heart. There's no drama, there's no complaining. It's always, how can I serve? How can I help my school? How can I help the students? I talked to some of the students and I said, tell me about Miss McCarter. What can you, give me some words that describe her. And these are some of the things they said. They said she's fun, she smiles a lot, she's patient, she's willing to help. If you don't understand something, she'll go back and go over it. She's always circulating in the classroom. If you have any questions, she's willing to answer. She's organized. She puts little funny faces on the board to make us happy and to laugh. She believes in us and she trusts us. I have a special place in my heart for her because I taught her years ago when she was a 4th grader, and she has evolved into a wonderful teacher, and we are so proud of her and happy to have her on our staff.
If you are a 2021 recipient of Teacher of the Year Award, would you please stand at this time? And I'll direct your attention once again as we recognize those Teachers of the Year for 2022.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Carrie Buckner for the 21-22 Sevier County Teacher of the Year. Carrie holds fast to the traditions of Pi Beta Phi. She honors the past by bringing in all of our community resources when she's teaching. She treasures the present, our love of literacy for our school, what our school is founded on. She is a fabulous literature teacher. She's bringing new life with our new CKL8 program, and she is shaping the future every day with the students that she effectively teaches. I would like to turn this over to Dr. Jackson as he takes you on a journey of Carrie and her passion for teaching.
For 110 years, our school has been focused on the literacy of the Gatlinburg community. Ms. Carrie Buckner carries that forward every day through her work in the classroom, teaching literacy to her students day in and day out, not only as a classroom teacher, but as a passionate advocate for literacy in our community through the use of the Little Free Library outside and training other teachers to teach literacy as best as possible to ensure all of our students are successful. She teaches this both through the CKL8 curriculum, which she has spearheaded here at our school and worked to spread to all of the teachers, but also through her role as a blended learning coach. In her role as blended learning technology lead teacher, Ms. Buckner utilizes technology every day. She helps the kids learn by utilizing her box line and a multitude of tools. Not only does she use in her own classroom, but she travels to other classrooms throughout the building, teaching other teachers how to best utilize these tools. Her ingenuity and creativity in technology really bring out the best in her students. Congratulations to Ms. Carrie Buckner on winning Sevier County Teacher of the Year. She truly deserves it and will represent our county and our school very well.
Samantha, we are so proud here at Sevier County High School that you were nominated and won the Sevier County Teacher of the Year. You are so deserving, and you set the example of what it means to leave a legacy here at Sevier County High School as a Smoky Bear. Just the other day, you had a group of kids, I think over 80% of them passed the para-pro test to become teacher's assistants once they graduate high school. That was a major step for your program. But the things that you do for the entire CT programs at Sevier County High School and for the Pigeon Forge High School and the Gatlinburg-Pittman kids that come down is second to none. We greatly appreciate all you've done, and we're so proud of you. I want to pass it off to Ms. Tabitha Ogle, and she's going to share you a little bit more about what Ms. Satterfield does for us here at Sevier County. Congratulations, Samantha.
So I've known Samantha Satterfield for 5 years. We've worked together here in the CTE building, and I am so impressed with everything that she's done here with our Teaching as a Profession program. She is so deserving of this honor as Teacher of the Year for our district. And she has an incredible program here at the school. She's building this program, and she's sending out young educators with such preparation and such a heart for, I'm hoping, what will be community leaders here that will come back and give back to our own Sevier County school system. Her students learn from what she does here in the classroom, and she helps them model and practice what she's going to go out into our middle schools and into our primary schools, and even within our own classrooms here if they want to teach the 7th through 12th grade. And she will show them how to model helping kids with reading, helping kids with writing, helping kids with any task that they need to learn in the primary schools and in the middle schools. She helps our CDC program. They get to go in and work with our students here at the school. She will also work with the students on how to create lesson plans all on their own, and they will go out and teach full-fledged lessons to students when they go out in the teaching practicum program here that she works with as this Teaching as a Profession program. She does all of this because she's so highly motivated. She does all of this while she and her husband also run a working farm every day when she leaves this building. So she is an incredible person. Samantha, congratulations on this honor. I'm so proud of you. It is so well deserved, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future.
PFI is so proud to have Amber Dunlap not only represent us as Teacher of the Year, but also represent the district as middle grades Teacher of the Year. And while this win was thrilling to all of us, it certainly wasn't surprising. Last year was our first year in existence, and it was the first time that I actually met Amber. I was working out of an office at the former Pigeon Forge Middle School, And I met her there, and I was immediately wowed by her presence and her energy, and I quickly knew that Amber would be just a phenomenal addition to the PFI family. Although my time working with Ms. Dunlap has been relatively short, her accomplishments have been plentiful. In the middle of what quite possibly has been the most challenging year in education, Ms. Dunlap not only adjusted well in a building with a brand new blended faculty, but she's also piloted and implemented the new Amplify curriculum as one of only 3 teachers in the county. Ms. Dunlap's classroom is one of positive relationships, high expectations, and extraordinary student learning. As a matter of fact, her students showed tremendous growth in the 2020 school year, nearly doubling their success rate from the prior year. Every time I step into Ms. Dunlap's classroom, I'm blown away by her energy and her consistency. It's evident that she pours her heart and soul into her profession on a daily basis. Her classroom's bright and welcoming and comfortable. Her students adore her, and so do her colleagues. Ms. Dunlap's success in the classroom is so commendable, but it's really her impact on our culture that I would like to highlight the most. Her positive attitude and her passion not only flood her classroom, but also flow directly into our halls. She's consistently willing to collaborate with other teachers. She serves as a model teacher and a mentor for new teachers, and she's worked with her 6th grade colleagues this year to implement the house system at our school. I'm confident that the culture and the environment at PFI would not have been possible without Amber Dunlap on our staff, and I personally am so thankful for her. I cannot think of anybody more deserving than Amber Dunlap, and she represents the county so well. Amber, we're so proud of you, we love you, and keep up the good work.
The reason why I love Dolly so much is because she loves literacy, and she's a supporter of literacy, and she's a supporter of just being kind to people, and I love that about her. So what better role model than a fellow Sevier Countian?
If you're a 2022 Teacher of the Year recipient, could you please stand so that we can honor you? The district level Teachers of the Year go a little different layer in competition, so I'm going to ask our district level Teachers of the Year for either 2020, 2021, or 2022. Could you please stand one more time so that we could recognize you as a district level winner? Congratulations to all of you. At this time, it is my honor to recognize 2 awards, one for Principal of the Year in 2022 and the other for Supervisor of the Year 2022. I'll start with the Principal of the Year. This particular awardee began his career with the Sevier County School System as a 7th grade math teacher at Seymour Elementary School during the 84-85 school year. Soon after, he moved to Seymour High School, where he taught algebra, geometry for 9 years. During that time, he also served as the head middle school basketball coach, head middle school football coach, varsity football assistant, and head baseball coach. He moved into administration in 1996 as the assistant principal at Seymour Middle School, where he held this position for 4 years, learning many valuable lessons from the SMS head principal, Mr. John Wade. In 1999, he became the principal at Seymour Intermediate School before becoming the principal of Seymour High School in 2003. In 2013, he went to the Kodak community to open Northview Academy, where he remained until December of 2021. He attributes his success in the classroom, on the ball field, and as an administrator to the great people with whom he was surrounded. As a 37-year employee of the Sevier County School System, he has had the opportunity to work with many exceptional teachers and support staff in 2 great communities. He's had the insightful leadership and guidance of Dr. Jack Parton and Dr. Deborah Klein, and the ongoing support of wonderful school board members Richard Montgomery, Charles Temple, and Mark Strange. His philosophy of education is simple, common sense approach. Teach students what they need to know, treat them with respect, show them that you genuinely care, and always remind them of what is possible through education and good decision making. Throughout his career, his model of leadership has positively influenced the many students he has taught, the numerous teachers he has mentored, and the countless others with whom he has worked and came in contact with. He is a 1980 graduate of the University of Tennessee. He holds a master's degree from East Tennessee State University and an EDS from Lincoln Memorial University. He states that it is an honor and a privilege to have been part of the Sevier County school system for nearly 4 decades and truly feels blessed to work with so many fine people. Welcome Mr. Greg Clark as the 2022 Principal of the Year. The Supervisor of the Year awardee knew she wanted to be a teacher from an early age. Throughout high school, she pursued many outlets to develop her skills as an educator through a variety of school-based volunteer opportunities, working in a variety of preschool and school-age aftercare programs, as well as spending many summers as a camp counselor. She has been an educator since 1991 when she participated in a year-long internship at Sequoia Elementary in Knox County as part of the University of Tennessee's first group of interns pursuing a degree in elementary education. She joined the Sevier County school system in 1992 as a kindergarten teacher at New Center Elementary. She also served as the school's first technology teacher for grades K-8. In 1995, she earned an educational specialist degree from Lincoln Memorial University. She was named School Level Teacher of the Year in 2002 as a graduate of Leadership Tomorrow and Leadership Sevier, and served on the board of Leadership Tomorrow for 5 years. She transitioned to the district office in 2007 to serve as the district webmaster and technology trainer, and completed a Doctor of Education degree in educational leadership and policy analysis. She has 10 years of administrative experience ranging from federal programs to now serving in her current role as the Director of Elementary Education. Throughout her life, her passion has been supporting the education of all children. She has a strong desire to invest in students, teachers, and school leaders, and to motivate them to achieve without limits. Be the lead learner is her leadership philosophy. She will always consider her greatest contribution to be her students and colleagues and the legacy they leave. Please join me in bringing Dr. Tanya Barrier to the stage to receive her award as Supervisor of the Year. At this time, we're going to move into the inductees for the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame. And as I think about that particular award, I'm reminded of a quote by Stephen Covey about those who extend a lifetime of service, legacy, and commitment to a worthy cause. And that quote is, "Be a light, not a judge, a model, not a critic, make commitments and keep them." And I believe that the people that we're about to induct into the Hall of Fame have done just that. They have been a light for all to see for many years. They really understood what it means to show up and be present every day. They have been a model, indeed, a model of excellence that all of us would benefit from emulating in our own practices. And their being honored here this evening brings certainty to their commitment in fulfilling their purpose while in the Sevier County school system. So it is my honor at this time to induct 5 new members to our Educator Hall of Fame. Our first nominee for the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame this evening is Mr. Glenn Bogart. Mr. Bogart, a 45-year veteran of the Sevier County school system, forged a path of distinction during his time with the district, occupying positions in many locations and at varied levels during his tenure. Perhaps more impressive, however, are the breadth and depth of the connections he has made with students, faculty and staff, and members of the community. One does not have to go very far to find a former student, a teacher, a business leader who is more than willing to speak of Mr. Bogart in tones of both affection and admiration. Best remembered for his most recent and longest running role in the principalship of Pi Beta Phi Elementary School, Mr. Bogart worked there within the Gatlinburg community to create a unique school culture of reflective teaching practice and academic excellence. Mr. Bogart grew up on an active working farm in the heart of Jones Cove's East Fork community. His early education started at a 2-room school in Cedar Bluff, where he excelled as a highly gifted student until New Center Elementary was built, beginning his 4th grade year there. Mr. Bogart graduated from Sevier County High School in 1964 at the young age of 16. He attended Vanderbilt University before transferring to the University of Tennessee, where he graduated in 1968 with a bachelor's degree. Mr. Bogart then began teaching 8th grade U.S. history, transferring to Sevier County High School in 1969 to teach sophomore English and special education. While teaching at Sevier County High School, Mr. Bogart was drafted during the Vietnam War, during which time he was stationed in Germany for 2 years. When he returned from service, he went back to school at the University of Tennessee and received his master's degree in curriculum and instruction. In 1974, Mr. Bogart became the first director of special education in Sevier County, a post he held while also working as the principal of the Special Learning Center, now known as Trudel Lawson Center. In 1983, he became the director of curriculum and instruction, and he held that position until he became the assistant principal at New Center Elementary in 1988. In 1989, he was appointed principal of Pi Beta Phi Elementary, assuming the role for which he is perhaps best known. Mr. Bogart started many programs while at Pi Beta Phi, with Parks' classroom being the most prominent among them. Comprised of 37 instructional units for grades K-8, Parks' classroom provides unique learning opportunities for students to excel in academic endeavors and simultaneously cultivate a deep sense of stewardship. Mr. Bogart also created many lasting connections within the community and beyond with organizations such as the National Park Service, Pi Beta Phi Fraternity, Good Shepherd Clinic, Gatlinburg Rotary Club, Boys and Girls Club of the Smoky Mountains, and a host of other such groups, earning more awards and marks of distinction from among these partners than we have time to share this evening. Mr. Bogart strove during his time there to make Pi Beta Phi an institution of true distinction, and entire generations of mountaineers would stand to attest to his success. Mr. Bogart himself says that his time as principal at Pi Beta Phi brought him his most professionally satisfying and enjoyable experiences. Indeed, he calls his 45-year career with the Sevier County Board of Education the greatest accolade I have ever received. It is for these reasons, among many others, that we are here tonight to induct Mr. Glenn Bogart into the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame. Mr. Bogart, could you join us on stage to receive your award?
pass up an opportunity to speak. I want to reiterate what was said, that the greatest honor is to work with wonderful people. And I especially appreciate all of the many associations that I had as an employee of Sevier County, but especially the Gatlinburg community that was so instrumental in helping me and the students to achieve what they justly deserve. And as a former educator, I think that the greatest pleasure I have, and still experiencing, is to see your former students who are right now in their 40s, perhaps early 50s, who have families and are productive citizens of our community. To me, that is the greatest pleasure I have had as a principal and as a fellow educator. Thank you very much.
Our next nominee for the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame this evening is Mr. Dayton Douglas. Mr. Douglas, a longtime member, deacon, and trustee at Boyd's Creek Baptist Church, has deep roots within that community and will be well remembered by many from the Boyd's Creek area. In addition to his spiritual responsibilities at Boyd's Creek Baptist Church, Mr. Douglas also served on the board of directors for Farmers Mutual Insurance. The role that we celebrate Mr. Douglas for this evening, however, is his service as a bus driver within the Sevier County school system, a role that he played for 35 years. During that tenure, he touched countless lives in the community he served, transporting young men and women to and from school while providing not only for their safety, but also for their care and education. Mr. Douglas was remembered by one former student as a just and fair man whose behavioral expectations for his students were made clear from the start. When students would get rambunctious, this writer remembers Mr. Douglas would pull the bus over, get out of his seat, and stand to address the unacceptable behavior, offering a warning that underscored the need for the student's safety. Though Mr. Douglas was never threatening or aggressive, harassment, foul language, and horseplay simply did not occur on his bus. Writers not only remember being safe on the bus, but they also remember the kindness and care with which Mr. Douglas approached his students. I reminisced one former student that every Friday he would have an entire box from one of the little gas station stores of gum Tootsie Pop suckers and would give everyone a piece of gum as they got off the bus. Every time I go to Sam's Club and see the boxes of gum for retail sales, I think of him and I smile. Now that I'm an adult and I realize how many students were on the bus and how little drivers were paid, I'm moved by his generosity. Other former students remembered that Mr. Douglas was just as much a part of the school as the teachers or the principal, a part of the network of adults who work together to carry out the business of providing for their care and safety as well as for their education. Though Mr. Douglas passed away in September of 2010 at the age of 97, his legacy of care and service will long be remembered by the students whose lives he touched. Mr. Douglas's daughter, thinking back on her father's time with the school system, recollected that his mission as a bus driver was to ensure all students on his bus were loved and cared for. This is a creed that all current Sevier County school system employees would do very well to remember and to emulate. It is for these reasons that we gladly induct Mr. Dayton Douglas into the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame this evening. Accepting this award on behalf of Mr. Douglas is his daughter, Mrs. Patsy Randalls. Our next nominee for the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame this evening is Mrs. Bonnie Justice. Mrs. Justice was born in Greenbrier in 1931. She attended and graduated from Pittman High School, earning her diploma there in 1950. She went on to attend teacher training at East Tennessee State University, earning a 3-year permanent teaching certificate there before returning to Sevier County to start her teaching career, which a colleague referred to as her passion and calling. During her time with Sevier County Schools, Mrs. Justice touched thousands of young lives, imbuing her students with the same sense of wonder in discovery and joy and success that she herself always showed. Upon completion of her program at ETSU, Mrs. Justice returned to Pittman Center Elementary School, where she began her teaching career with a first grade posting. From there, she moved on to Caton's Chapel Elementary School, where, like many teachers in our rural mountain areas, she taught a split group of first and second grade students. Finally, Mrs. Justice made the move to Pi Beta Phi Elementary, where she took up a position as a third grade teacher that ended up spanning the remaining 29 years of her teaching career. It was from here at Pi Beta Phi, where she spent nearly 3 decades, that many of the most vivid recollections of her students were shared with us. One Mountaineer colleague recalls that Mrs. Justice loved her students and that her school and community loved her. It was also there at Pi Beta Phi that she was recognized as Teacher of the Year, an honor that one student remembers she was humbled to receive, but that she never sought, displaying the humility which many students and friends remember about her. It was also at Pi Beta Phi Elementary that Mrs. Justice labored to help create some of the early Parks' Classrooms curriculum, writing lessons that brought her students closer to the mountains in which they lived. Even the advent of computers could not put a damper on the enthusiasm Ms. Justice had for teaching and learning. When she received her first classroom computer, her daughter, also a former student, writes, "She didn't throw in the towel. Instead, she got busy learning how to use the computer effectively." With her natural devotion to teaching, overcoming any hurdle placed before her, Mrs. Justice was truly one of those individuals who was happiest in her classroom and with her students. She often told me that teaching was her mission field, her daughter added. One student recollects that Mrs. Justice enjoyed learning new things to share with her students. Our success, she said, was her success. This joy and persistence and celebration of achievement are among the many reasons why we are gathering here tonight and are proud to induct Mrs. Bonnie Justice into the Sevier County Hall of Fame. Accepting this award on behalf of Mrs. Justice is her daughter, Mrs. Beverly Loveday. Very good. Our next nominee for the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame this evening is Dr. Nancy Sims. For Dr. Sims, as one of her nominators pointed out, education is truly in her blood. Dr. Sims grew up a student at New Center Elementary School with her mother, Ruby Noland Howard, and her aunt, Nina Manning, both previous Hall of Fame inductees close at hand. Mrs. Howard actually began teaching at New Center School when it opened in 1955. Dr. Sims went on to follow in her footsteps, taking a position as a teacher at New Center before moving into administration as a vice principal and principal soon thereafter. Her tenure as principal spanned some 25 years, and during that time, her firm, compassionate, level-headed approach to dealing with her students, staff members, and parents raised her to practically legendary status within the New Center community and beyond. Her leadership has not only left a lasting impact on the students she herself spoke with daily during her time there, but through the multitude of administrators that she trained and who still look to her for advice, she has touched many thousands more all around our district. During her 32 years of employment with the Sevier County school system, the entirety of that time was focused exclusively on New Center, her home. She spent several years as a teacher in predominantly 3rd and 4th grade classrooms before spending a single year as an assistant principal. She was even named Sevier County's Primary School Teacher of the Year in 1989. At the age of only 29, Dr. Sims became the principal at New Center Elementary. And even after earning her doctorate degree from the University of Tennessee, her love for and sense of duty to New Center made remaining there an easy choice. Dr. Sims says, "I loved New Center and had no desire to go anywhere else. I lived 3 miles from the school and decided there was no place like home." As such, she set about making New Center the best school that it could possibly be, a goal that her former students and staff members still bear witness to as they remember her time there. One of her nominators writes that Dr. Nancy Sims was the kind of principal that knew every student by name, greeted them in person daily, knew their backstories and needs, and utilized every resource to see them supported, even with her own money if necessary. Her empathy for others and supreme kindness, one nominator wrote, were just 2 of the qualities that made her beloved by her faculty, staff, students, and community. This person went on to say she has touched the lives of many, and her contributions to the education of students in Sevier County schools will never be forgotten. Dr. Sims herself recounts the tremendous growth the New Center community and its elementary school saw during her time there, with the school growing from 10 classrooms to over 40, along with a large library, media center, science lab, and a host of facilities during her 32 years of service. Amongst her favorite memories are being named the county's Primary Grades Teacher of the Year, as well as the introduction of the first computers into classrooms. With great humility, Dr. Sims says of her success that the key was surrounding herself with good people. "I was privileged to work with wonderful assistant principals. I had a very strong backup system, including outstanding teachers, teachers' assistants, cafeteria staff, and custodians that made my job easier. Dr. Deborah Klein was a wonderful role model and mentor. I was also blessed to have the support of my community." It is for her lifetime of steady, unswerving dedication to the children of New Center Elementary School and its surrounding community that we are here to bear witness to the induction of Dr. Nancy Sims into the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored. And Dr. Pardon, thank you for hiring me at the age of 29. When I look back on it now, I think, oh, who would do that? But anyway, thank you. I spent my life in New Center School. I grew up there. I went to school there as a youngster. So my mother opened the school in 1955, and the standing joke at our house was, "Are you going to close the school?" And I said, "I think so." But anyway, I so enjoyed my years there. And I was just fortunate to have wonderful people around me all the time. And I hope I've always been kind and helpful to anyone who's ever asked for help. I've always tried to be, and I've always been very confidential. When you called me, I didn't call somebody else and say, "Can you believe?" But I so appreciate everyone. And teachers, for those of you that are being honored now, I know you deserve every recognition. And being in the school system in Sevier County is just very special. We're like a home and a family. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Our next nominee for the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame this evening is Mrs. Carolyn Henderson Whaley. A 1966 graduate of Sevier County High School, Mrs. Whaley went on to earn her teaching degree from the University of Tennessee in 1969. Though she completed her student teaching right here in Sevier County at New Center Elementary, thereafter she went on to teach at Morristown Junior High School for 4 years before eventually electing to stay at her home until her own child was old enough to enroll in school. Interviewing for a teaching position at Sevier County High School, Mrs. Whaley returned to Smoky Bear Country as an English teacher there in 1980, beginning a term of service that would eventually lead her into administration as well as into the hearts of generations of students who would encounter her there. During her 12-year tenure as an English teacher at Sevier County High School, Mrs. Whaley taught students from across all grade and ability levels, allowing her to reach a broad cross-section of students from all backgrounds, means, and ability levels. It was her passion for reaching out to and helping these students that led her to create a program called Bear Tracks, which focused on tutoring students who were struggling to pass core courses so that they had a clear path toward graduation. Her daughter recalls that many students were able to receive their high school diplomas because of her dedication to this program. It was also during her 12 years in the classroom that Mrs. Whaley was named Teacher of the Year by her peers in 1987 and again in 1991 when she was also named the Sevier County Secondary Educator of the Year. In 1996, she was awarded the prestigious Bear Award for outstanding service to Sevier County High School. In 1998, seeking to make an impact on the lives of an even broader range of students, Mrs. Whaley applied for and accepted a position as an assistant principal at Sevier County High School. One family member recalls that she proudly served in that position for 16 years, never forgetting what it was like to be a teacher and always being an advocate for her teachers and students. Indeed, Mrs. Whaley's dedication was such that she was named one of Tennessee's Assistant Principals of the Year for the 2001-2002 school year. Finally, for her long and heartfelt service to its students and staff members, Mrs. Whaley was inducted into the Sevier County High School Hall of Fame. After 31 years of experience, Mrs. Whaley's daughter notes, she retired to spend some time with her family and to spoil her grandchildren. Of the many comments associated with her nomination, by far the most common were about her humility and compassion. Carolyn was a giving, caring, and kind woman who loved everything involving educating children, one student wrote. She was supportive of everyone she worked with and never treated anyone other than an equal. Another nominator wrote that she could light up a room like no other and could lead a team of students and teachers down a road to success with only a few words. Everyone valued her leadership and zeal for excellence in everything she did. Carolyn loved life, her family, her students, and Sevier County. It is for these reasons, among many others, that we are here tonight to induct Mrs. Carolyn Henderson Whaley into the Sevier County Educator Hall of Fame. Accepting this award on behalf of Mrs. Whaley is her daughter, Mrs. Jamie Woods.
Wow, what an evening. I'm inspired. I don't know if everybody else is here, but I think we should all leave here definitely ready to go. To commemorate this night, a group photo of each year's winners will be taken in front of the Teacher of the Year banner provided by Collier Hospitality Group outside of the ballroom as you exit. You may have seen it coming in. We will begin with the 2020 Teachers of the Year. So if you all, shortly when we're dismissed, please make your way to that banner. Then we will be followed by the 2021 Teachers of the Year and then the 2022 Teachers of the Year. The 2022 Teachers of the Year will also pick up their awards after the photo as they exit the building. Once again, I would like to call up Mr. Nick Miller of Collier Restaurant Group. Nick, we would just like to thank you. This is over-the-top night for our Teachers of the Year, and to take on the commitment of not only this year, but the past 2 years. We wanted to make sure that those teachers, you know, got a celebration as well. And so this is just a small commemorative item for us, and so just thank you again so very much. So please, it's just been unbelievable. So once again, thank you to Mr. Miller and Collier Hospitality Group, and to all of our recipients for the sacrifices you have made to invest in the students of Sevier County. Your daily work leaves an indelible impression. Have a wonderful evening.